When you were a kid, a single summer felt like it lasted forever. 3 whole months of endless afternoons. But somewhere along the way, that changed. Now, a whole year can slip by before you've even gotten used to writing the date. Same clock. Same 24 hours in a day. Same 365 days in a year. So why does time feel like it keeps speeding up the older you get? It turns out the answer is real. It's backed by science, and it says something kind of unsettling about how your brain measures your entire life. But it also hides a surprising piece of good news. So stick around, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to slow time back down. Let's start with the simplest reason, and it's basically just math. Think about how old you are and how long a year feels compared to your whole life so far. When you are 2 years old, one single year is half of your entire existence. Half. Of course it feels enormous. When you're 10, a year is a tenth of your life. Still a big, meaningful chunk. But when you're 40, that same year is just 1/40th of everything you've ever lived. And when you're 80, it's 1/80th. The year never got shorter. But compared to the growing mountain of life behind you, each new year is a thinner and thinner slice of the pie. This is called the proportional theory of time. And it means that the summer you remember from when you were 8 really was a bigger fraction of your life than this entire year is now. It's a neat idea. But honestly, it's not the whole story. Because the proportional theory can't explain why a single boring afternoon can still drag on forever, even when you're old. So there has to be something deeper going on. And there is. It comes down to one thing: memory. Here's the key idea. Your brain does not measure time with a clock. It measures time by how much you remember. The more new memories your brain files away during a period of your life, the longer that stretch of time feels when you look back on it. And this is where childhood has an unfair advantage. When you're a kid, almost everything is happening for the very first time. Your first day of school, the first time you ride a bike without falling, the first time you taste something you love, the first time you see the ocean. Your brain is in full recording mode, soaking up details and building memories at an incredible rate. So when you look back on those years, they are absolutely stuffed with vivid moments. And all of that stored memory makes the time feel long and rich and full. Now compare that to a typical week as an adult. You wake up to the same alarm. You take the same route to work. You eat roughly the same lunch. You do the same kinds of tasks. You come home, you scroll, you sleep, and then you do it all again. Here's the problem. Your brain has seen all of this before. It already knows this route, this lunch, this routine, so it stops bothering to record the details. Why waste storage on something completely predictable? And because so little gets saved, when you look back on that week, there's almost nothing there. The whole thing collapses into a single blurry impression. A month of pure routine can vanish in your memory like it barely happened at all. Scientists have a name for this. It's the difference between time passing and time remembered. And it leads to a strange little paradox that you have almost certainly felt yourself. Think about a really good vacation. While you're on it, packed with new sights and new experiences, the days feel full, and the trip seems to fly by. But months later, when you look back, that one week feels huge, like it lasted ages because your brain stored so many new memories from it. Now flip it around. A dull, repetitive week feels slow and sluggish while you're living through it, watching the clock, waiting for Friday. But in memory, it's gone. It shrinks down to almost nothing. That's the paradox. Novelty makes time feel slow in the moment, but long in memory. Routine makes time feel fine in the moment, but terrifyingly short when you look back. And there's even more going on under the hood. As we get older, we simply pay less attention to the world around us. A small child is constantly studying everything because everything is new and demanding. But an adult brain has learned to run on autopilot, quietly filtering out the familiar to save energy. And the less attention you pay, the fewer details you encode, and the faster time seems to slip through your fingers. Some scientists have even suggested that as our brains age and get a little slower at processing what we see, we take in fewer mental snapshots per second, which could make the whole world feel like it's moving faster around us, like an old camera filming at a lower frame rate. So put it all together, and you get the real reason time speeds up. It's not the clock. It's that less and less of your life is new, so less and less of it gets recorded, so more and more of it just slides by, unremembered. And that is the genuinely unsettling part. If you let your life run entirely on routine, then in a very real sense, that time will barely exist in your memory at all. You will have lived it, but you won't have kept it. But here is the good news. And it's the whole point. Because if novelty is the thing that makes time feel long and full, then you have far more control over the speed of your life than you ever realized. You can fight back, and it doesn't require quitting your job or moving across the world. It just means deliberately feeding your brain new things to remember. Take a different route home. Cook a dish you've never made. Learn a skill that is actually hard. Say yes to the trip. Talk to the person you'd normally walk straight past. Pick up the hobby you keep putting off. Every genuinely new experience is like planting a little flag in the timeline of your life. A marker your brain decides to hold on to. String enough of them together, and a year stops being a blur. It turns back into a story you can actually remember living. Because in the end, time isn't really speeding up at all. Your life is just becoming more familiar. The years feel short because you have slowly stopped filling them with things worth remembering. And the very moment you start again, time stretches right back out. So, go and do something you have never done before. Make this year impossible to forget. And the next time someone asks you where all the time went, well, then you'll know.